Welcome to MYOB. Right, so firstly you need to go to the setup menu, click on company information. So this basically gives you company information from January to December, and the conversion month is again January. Right, so in this case here, if the company address changes, you should be able to update it in here. If the company phone number changes, you can update it, but you cannot play around with the years here. Why? Simple reason, to avoid fraud. Now if you have to update the text which is VAT in Fiji, so you go to the list menu, click on text codes. So this is where you have the value added tax and the rate is 9%. Okay, now the next thing is your card file. So the card file contains information about your customers, about your suppliers, and if you're doing payroll, it talks about employees. So on the card file we have two customers here, Mr. Bond and Miss Lane, and our supplier is Adidas. Alright, now in terms of inventory, so if there is a cyclone, example Winston, so usually what we need to do is you can adjust your inventory, and before adjusting, let's click on the item list. So we already have two items here, right? Let's click on new. Okay, let's say we have M100, we'll call this men's shoes. Now I buy, I sell, I inventory. So when you buy the item, you need to have a responding cost of sales account. So in this case it should be shoe purchases. Now we're having an example whereby this is a retail company, right? So when you sell the item, you have shoe sales, and when you want to inventory the item, you'll have the account called merchandise inventory. So the buying details, the tax code when bought should be VAT, and selling details, the tax code when sold should again be VAT. Now as a consumer, you only want to know about the final price, so you have to place a tick here where it says prices are tax inclusive, and you enter the selling price. So let's say men's shoes, you're selling it for 200. Alrighty, and press OK. So this is a new feature for MYOB version 19, whereby it has the spelling and grammar as well, right? So you can just click on change all, it will change and update the spelling as well. So we have men's shoes is 200. The asterisk at 9 indicates the prices are tax inclusive. Now if I want to update the opening stock, so the best procedure is go to inventory, count inventory. So over here, let's say I've counted men's shoes was 10, right? Click on adjust inventory, and the default adjustment account again becomes merchandise inventory, right? Continue. Now in some cases you may be able to know the cost price. In some cases, because you are unaware, you cannot be sure of entering the cost price. So press the space bar, enter the date. Let's say the date was January 1st 2016. Alright, memo is very important. This simply tells you what your transaction is all about. So we'll say opening stock, quantity 10, and the cost price. So let's say we are selling it for 200. Let's assume that we bought it for $50 so that we make a profit. Alright, so this is basically 10 units at $50. Total amount comes to 500. Record that up. Alright, so if you go to the accounts, the item list, so we have men's shoes, quantity is 10. Thank you very much. That's all that we have for inventory. Now let's move on to the accounts module. Now the accounts module, this is basically a chart of accounts, your assets, your liabilities, your equities, right? Assets, things which you own. Liabilities, things which you owe. Equity, this is your owner's contribution, right? Example, you want to start up a business, so you have your investment here. Income, basically if you do sales, you'll get your income, and expenses are those items, basically your traveling, your fuel and whatnot, right? Now there are two types of accounts. There is a header account and there's a details account. Example, cash on hand, this is a header account. It constitutes of the following details: ANZ, BSP and so forth. Alright, thank you very much.